Hi y'all, my name is Chris Buckner. For this internal analysis, I chose the company John Deere. Through this internal analysis, we're going to use the SWOT method. I call it SWOT, so bear with me throughout this presentation as I refer to it as either one. So what is John Deere? Let's have a quick little history. Kind of turns into a long one, I guess, when I start talking. 1837, John Deere, local blacksmith in Illinois, developed his first steel plow. Local farmers have been complaining that the plows they were using were more designed for East Coast soil where it was a lot softer than it was out west. So he designed this plow that was better used to till their ground instead of for the East Coast ground. So 1848 came after his successful plow business was kicking off, I guess you could say, in Illinois. He moved onto a plant on the Mississippi River. This was able to double his production and help him send out his plows down the river. 1864, John Deere received his first patent for his steel plows. Then in 1876, he incorporated his first logo, which is the one and only Leaping Deer logo. It's actually still used today. You'll see a picture of it on my first slide when you see my slideshow. This is actually the longest used logo on any Fortune 500 company, so that's a big deal. Let's see, next is 1918. John Deere enters the tractor business. They bought out Waterloo Gasoline Engine Company, and they ended up selling Waterloo tractors, being the largest tractor selling company in the United States. 1927, John Deere enters the combine industry. 1935 came around, and they introduced the first John Deere tractor called the Model D1. This is significant because this tractor is actually not designed for farmer use. It's actually for industrial use, so this is the first of its kind of leading up to how John Deere has been throughout the farming and industrial industries, being leading in the technology and very innovative. 1943 came around. John Deere decides to build products for the military during World War II. This actually helped them a lot build their name and build their brand because World War II was such a big deal in the United States for a company to just decide to make stuff to aid in the war. Just really got the nation behind them and helped sell their products too. Several different things they decided to make throughout this time were military tractors, ammunition, aircraft parts, cargo, and then what I found interesting was mobile laundry, which was big for the soldiers over there because everybody got to do some laundry. 1950 came around. They introduced the first two-row cotton picker. Not just one on these combines, but it had two rows, so they're doubling that production. This was the very first one to be introduced into the market. 4 years later, 1954, they introduced a two-row corn combine, also the first in the market. 3 years later, 1957, they developed the first hay baler. So instead of having to cut the hay and then bale it yourself, you just ride, and it makes it a lot easier, increases production, decreases time being used, so you can use it on other things. So then 1963 comes around, and they enter the turf industry. Go ask any older adult you see in this area, ask them about a John Deere lawnmower, they're going to say it's the best around. Nobody can find it any better. So just because they came around in that time with that industry, with the reputation they already had through the farming industry, everybody wanted a John Deere, and they have actually lasted. So they've done a good job with that. My grandpa still drives the same old John Deere lawnmower. Looks like it wouldn't even run from here 100 feet, but daggone, the thing cuts grass, so I guess they did something right. 1966, they designed and produced the first rollover protective structure for farming tractors. A lot of times farmers would hit holes, groundhog holes, anything like that when they were bush hogging or collecting their crops, and it would flip very badly, get injured, and a lot of people would die because of this. So them producing this first safety measure was also huge, just because many people were worried about their family, their local farmers, just because of the dangers just from riding a tractor. So them developing this and then releasing it to the public, instead of making a patent where they were the only ones who use it, they gave it to every other tractor company in the United States. So everybody was able to produce this. So that just helped solidify the John Deere name. 13 years later, in 1979, they introduced the industry's first, yet again another industry first, four-row cotton picker. So this is huge. Yeah, I don't know if y'all are getting where I'm coming from. I tried to do a quick history, but it turned out being everything was industry leading, first in the market, first in the industry. So my quick history turned into kind of a long one, but this has very important to help you understand the success and just the name of John Deere because they're just so innovative. 1994 is a big gap between 79 and 94, but they were still just doing their thing. 1994 came around. They developed the new standard for tractors. What do you know? They released the 18,000 series tractors. This is still the standard for today. 1996, 2 years later, the first fully integrated yield mapping package for combines. Very technologically advanced for this time period, I guess you could say, for farmers. So that's what everybody wanted. But what's new? I guess everybody still wants John Deere's. 2000 came around. They bought Timberjack, the leading industry in forestry. Well, now John Deere is leading the industry in forestry. So they just building up, branching out, getting into new industries, and they're just killing it. 2009, they developed the first cotton picker that bales as you go. This is huge because it's able to, I think I read it's able to do 500 acres a day. Now, don't quote me on this. I did not write this down, but that's a lot of land compared to having to collect all the cotton and then bale it yourself. They're able to do it as you go, and it rolls it into circular bales. So that just cuts down on time dramatically. Definitely helps with production. 2014, John Deere's Intelligent Solutions Group is created. They were actually falling behind on the technology side of things. So with this group, this was their way to incorporate a new sense of belonging and leading advantage in the technological industry. So I haven't read much more on that, so we'll see what happens in the near future. So John Deere today, their slogan is "Nothing runs like a Deere," and you'll have many people in this area agree with you on that. They sell a ton of items. This list is not inclusive. There's many more I didn't include, and I've actually mentioned several of it. They sell lawn and garden tools, agricultural equipment, construction equipment, landscaping and ground care, forestry equipment, engines and drivetrains, and also government and military sales still. Excuse me. All right, so let's get to this internal analysis now that we understand kind of what John Deere is for any of you that did not know. Like I said, we're going to be using the SWOT analysis. Let's keep in mind through our readings and everything, SWOT analysis is an internal analysis, and when you look for the internal analysis only, it's really focusing on strengths and weaknesses. So there's two ways we're going to use SWOT analysis. One's the value chain, and another one's VRIO. Both of those are able to really just dig deep into a company to build a strong internal analysis on them. So that's what I use throughout this. I'll start with strengths for John Deere, looking towards the value chain. A couple of strengths John Deere has is they have diverse production. That list I read to you just goes to show everything that they produce, and it's much more than just that. They also have that customer trust and relationship. They have a strong dealership program. They rigorously train their dealers to just build that customer relationship. Customers have problems with their John Deere, anything, they can just call them up and they're going to be able to at least do the best they can to help them. And also just from their history, people trust a John Deere because they seem to be the leading one wherever they go. Next, we have the ability to adjust product based off of demand. This is big in production. Their manufacturing is developed where they can change, speed up, and slow down if needed based on consumer preference. So that's huge. Big money saver or money maker, I guess you could say. Next, another strength is the ability to improve new products and receive high returns. We've seen that just through their history, like I explained to you. They have a very high return on industrial leading and new releases on any product. And then another strength would be they have very dependent products. You'll see these older adults riding around on their 1969 John Deere lawnmower, and my grandpa's one of them. They're just invincible. Some more strengths. They're an overall leader in the industry. I think I've said that enough throughout. They have over 55,000 employees. Huge company. That might not even be all of it. That's just from the manufacturing standpoint. That's not even to mention all of the dealerships and repairmen and everything like that. Salesmen. They also have a strong training program for workers. This is able to really just drill in the John Deere way. When a new employee comes on, they're able to buy into the culture and able to just know everything there is for them to know about the products. They have reliable suppliers. They don't have to worry about suppliers spiking their prices. They don't have to worry about different changes in budgets due to the suppliers. They're very reliable for them. They also have a high cash flow. This is a strength because cash flow allows the company to expand into new product areas. Like I mentioned, like recently they did the timberjack for the forestry, things like that. They've been able to do throughout their years, and they still have the ability to do so. Now let's go to some weaknesses. I was not able to find as many weaknesses, but they do have some that are kind of significant. They have gaps in production. They provide competitors a foot into their door. This is just kind of, they have their way. They are successful in what they do, but I guess leaving those gaps allows competitors to just kind of get an edge on them, but it hasn't worked for them yet. They keep a high inventory. There's a whole, if you go by a John Deere dealership, there's 10 tractors, 20 lawnmowers. They have a lot of things just at dealerships, not to mention storage facilities and everything, manufacturer facilities. They just have a high inventory, which can, if there's a decrease in the need, that can be a big issue. It's not very liquid. They're not very liquidated with their cash when it comes to this. They also have a poor financial planning system. I couldn't really get a lot of information on this, but compared with their current and liquid assets, it just kind of shows an ability to be more improved and better managed, I guess you could say. But that's all the information I can get on that. They also have a high turnover rate. Now, this is actually due to retirements and such, because once you join John Deere, not many people leave. So they have a whole bunch of people that are retiring at the present point, but high turnover rates leads to high costs due to training and new employees and having to budget out wages and everything like that. So that's just kind of a disadvantage in a sense, because they got new employees, have to train them, and it's just extra costs that they didn't need in the past. Their IT communications and network are more greatly needed day by day. Like I said, in 2014 they developed that group to help become more advanced in their technology, where they were a little behind on that. So this just ties right into this weakness. And the final weakness I'm going to mention is they have a small amount of global awareness. A lot of things are focused in on the United States, but there are higher yielding profits from other companies in other markets other than North America. So let's go to the VRIO analysis of the internal analysis using SWOT. The V stands for value. Their value is customer dedication. Their customers value their brand. They're very dependable products, and they're a leader in innovation. R is for rarity. Due to the gaps, there are many in the market with somewhat similar products, but that still doesn't affect their sales, it seems like. And also the products are still different from their own just because they're innovative, and even though they've provided the standard, it's still, everybody can't be exactly like John Deere. I is imitability, an ability to imitate their product. Due to the lower tech in this product, other companies have higher forms of technology. So actually John Deere, nobody wants to imitate John Deere's technology. They just want to imitate their product, I guess you could say. But it's kind of hard to do. O is for organization. They have a high value in distribution centers, a strong name, and reliability, and they have a very strong customer preference in John Deere. So next we're going to go over intended, emergent, and realized strategies for John Deere. I had to do a little research on this, but through the textbooks and reading, I was able to kind of develop my own understanding of these strategies and how it applied to John Deere. So for intended strategies, let's just review. John Deere started as a blacksmith instead of the company. He was a man. He heard farmers complain of their plows, so he decided to do something about it. His plows that he made were better equipped for the soil in the West and Illinois. So his strategy was to provide farmers with plows that are better equipped to assist in plowing the ground and compared to the plows that were currently being used. So this led to his emergent strategy, and his emergent strategy was to become successful. John Deere branched out to other farming equipment and eventually home needs, military and recreational equipment, and But with this, they were looking for any opening in the market to obtain an advantage. And with this emergent strategy, it led to a realized strategy. John Deere now has equipment that in its specific area provided quality, integrity, commitment, and innovation. This was done to better achieve John Deere's idea. I'm very sorry. With this, they brought out several industry leaders along the way to enter new fields. Stumbled through that. I apologize. So present day, on their website, they have listed core competencies and strategies all in one. There are 4 values they have: integrity, quality, commitment, and innovation. So I'm just going to do a quick little recap of what they said about each of these. Integrity, they want to be honest, they want to keep their word to their customers, and treat them with fairness and kindness and respect. For quality, they push to provide value to the customers, employees, and stakeholders. This is through their product and their efficiency. Commitment, they strive to make stakeholders' expectations through consistency over time. And innovation, they appeal to the customers through products that are innovative, new, and have an advanced design and provide a breakthrough in the industry. All right, and so after that, very end of my slide, I'll have my references listed. Thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing y'all's presentations, and nothing runs like a Deere, guys.